Every morning, I head to the market plaza. Rising before sunrise and walking to the center of the plaza, that was my routine. Buy a sack of sugar and head home. That was how my day began. Today was no different. I set off for the plaza as usual. But next to my usual sugar vendor, a new stall had appeared. It hadn't been there yesterday. In front of the tent, green sacks of sugar cubes were piled high like a mountain. Every sack was covered in drawings of leaves. The fresh green color shimmered in the morning light. In the center, large letters read, "Pure from nature. Harvested for your health." I looked for the price tag. Twice the price of regular sugar. I hesitated for a moment, then walked away. I bought my usual sugar today. The green sacks could wait. A few days passed. The mood at the market plaza had shifted noticeably. My friend Michael walked by carrying 2 green sacks. John strolled past with a green sack on his back. Fred was deep in conversation with the vendor in front of the stall.
I feel different since I started using it. They say it's definitely not the same as regular sugar.
Picked straight from nature, so there are no impurities, apparently.
Talk like this spread fast through the market plaza. The regular sugar vendor's stall went completely quiet. Where lines used to stretch, not a single customer came by. I held out for a few days. The double price still bothered me. But when every ant around me was carrying a green sack, I couldn't help feeling left behind. Eventually, I clutched 2 extra leaves and stood in front of the stall. I picked up a green sack. It was heavier than I expected. Back home, I tried a spoonful of the sugar. It was sweet. The exact same sweetness as always. It was an evening a few days later. Someone called out to me from the alley behind the market plaza. It was a worker ant who worked in the green sack vendor's warehouse. I had crossed paths with him a few times at the plaza before. He glanced around and spoke in a low voice.
I didn't know at first either. I thought I was just moving sacks around.
What he told me was this. Inside the warehouse, ordinary sugar sacks were stacked floor to ceiling. Every morning, his job was to transfer that sugar into green sacks. On one side, a machine-stamped leaf prints onto the sacks without stopping. Pure from nature. Each stamp pressed the words in crisp, clean ink.
But I have a family to feed. I had no choice.
His voice trailed off, and he disappeared into the darkness of the alley. I stood there for a long time. The next morning, I went to find the most trusted elder ant in the market plaza. I leaned close and told him everything I had heard the night before. The elder ant nodded without a word. The 2 of us walked over to the green sack stall. The vendor greeted us with a smile.
Can I get you a sack of healthy sugar today as well?
The elder ant asked quietly.
Where does this sugar come from?
The vendor's expression stiffened.
Oh, we harvest it ourselves.
And where exactly do you harvest it?
The vendor had no answer. The elder ant opened the warehouse door behind the stall. Ordinary sugar sacks were piled from floor to ceiling. The leaf stamping machine sat idle in the corner. Ants nearby began to gather, one by one. Someone tore open an ordinary sack and a green sack side by side. Sugar spilled out. The color, the smell, the texture, identical in every way. The market plaza fell silent. The vendor said nothing. He folded up his stall and disappeared. Only the green sacks remained. The vendor was gone. The market plaza grew quiet again, but I couldn't shake the unease. I looked around and saw similar green sacks still scattered all across the plaza. Other stalls still displayed words like natural, pure, and healthy. The Black Ant Kingdom had no system to verify any of those claims. Anyone could draw a leaf on a sack and call it a day. There were no rules to stop it, no authority to check. And it wasn't just sugar. The builder ant's lumber labeled natural materials. The sugar farm ant's sugarcane marked pesticide-free. The baker ant's yeast advertised as naturally fermented. The same scheme was playing out everywhere in the plaza. All it took was changing the packaging to charge twice the price. After that day, I began to doubt every label I saw at the market plaza. But there was no way to verify the truth. Either trust it or don't buy it. That was all. What do you think? Do you trust what the packaging tells you? And if there's no way to verify the truth, who should be held responsible? Thank you. See you in the next story.